CES 2019 is like 2 days away, and here is all the gear that I plan on taking with me. What's up everyone, I'm the Everyday Dad, and if I can figure it out, you can figure it out. So I'm super excited. This is my first time ever going to CES, and I wanted to make sure that I could make some videos and bring you guys along with me, because without you, there is no me going to CES. So this is super exciting, and one of my favorite things to do on YouTube is to watch other creators. Like, I've watched hundreds of what gear I'm bringing to CES videos, and so now it's my turn to make one. Super excited. So let's just hop into it. So first off, let's talk about my tripod, which is, because it's on the outside of this bag. We'll talk about the bag here in like 1 second. It's awkward to do it this way. The tripod I'm bringing is the Manfrotto Be-Free tripod with the fluid head. So any kind of pans and tilts or anything like that, if I want to do an interview or something, it will be done on this tripod. I thought of bringing something like, I have a monopod. It's actually right here holding up this light. I thought about bringing it, but even when it's like closed, it's like huge, and I didn't want to be like that guy like walking around with like a flag sticking out of his back. So we'll be bringing that tripod. It works pretty well. It fits in pretty tight spaces. And that will be one of the tripods. But let's get on to the bag, and that brings me up to another big point, is that, so that tripod is mine. I own that. Most of this gear, I reached out to my friends over at B&H, and I was like, hey guys, you know, I'm going to CES. Would you guys be willing to hook me up with some gear to make it some awesome videos? And being the awesome company they are, and yes, you know, I do have a arrangement with them where they send me gear, but even before that, I thought they were awesome. And I mean, they are objectively awesome. But so they sent me basically everything I wanted, and so let's check out all this stuff. There's a lot of thought put into this because I don't want to hurt my old man back carrying too much stuff around. But for the bag itself, the bag is the Peak Design. The bag is the Peak Design 20 liter. Why did I get the 20 liter instead of the 30 liter? Like I just said, I don't want to hurt my old man back. And the bigger the bag, the more stuff I'll put in there, because that's just how I am. So let's get to this outside pouch. This is our outside pouch that we'll get into first, and this will have all of my audio gear. So for audio gear, I will be using the Sennheiser AVX system, which is an XLR wireless lavalier system. It does have an adapter that just straight up plugs into regular cameras, so as we will see, my camera doesn't have an XLR adapter, but it will be able to work with that. And the audio I've been getting out of this is pretty good. Actually, all of this gear we've been using on videos, so you've seen and taken part of all of this gear already, because I've been trying it out for like the last 3 weeks to a month, and we've made some videos about it, so we'll go from there. And then the big part of this pouch is the batteries. So I'm kind of a battery hog. I don't want to run out of battery life, so I'm bringing 4 spare batteries. So I'll have 5 batteries in total for my camera, which we'll save for the end, though longtime viewers know what it is already, and these batteries kind of give it away. But yeah, I'll be bringing 4 spare batteries, so 5 batteries in total. Not yet, you. We're not going to get to you yet, spare camera. Let's swing it over to the other side. This will be my cable bag with all like so here's my SD card to USB-C for my editing platform, which we'll see in a second, which is an iPad Pro. I've got adapters and plugs and USB-C cables, all sorts of cables to make sure that we have power and we can transfer files. And then here is, so we saw the audio system, which is going to be the Sennheiser system, and this is my Rode. So I normally use, we're currently recording audio with a Rode VideoMic Pro Plus. I also have the Rode wireless system that I use on my own personal videos. And I'll just be bringing extra cables for that, so to make sure if a cable messes up, I'm never like out due to that. And this also has an extra lavalier mic. Just emergencies abound, and if it weighs almost nothing, I'd rather bring extra than, you know, be missing. For power, we're bringing a RAVPower 26,000 milliamp hour battery. Again, I don't want to run out of battery, and I don't want to run out of storage space. So I'm bringing lots of batteries, and I'm bringing a huge external battery, because I assume to be as mobile as possible, I don't want to be trapped to a like an outlet. So we're bringing this big old thing. You can see it's got USB, it's got USB-C, it's got all sorts of like ports on it. This thing's huge. Should work great. Okay, that is everything in that pouch. Now let's go. So one of the cool things about this bag is you can get to the front flap by opening up this pouch here, but just for here, we can get to everything from the side. Here's my other tripod I'm gonna bring, and this is the Manfrotto Pixie. It's the new version of it. If you guys have seen my videos for any amount of time, you know that I've been using the older version of the Manfrotto Pixie, and I just recently got this because it lets you get a little more distance out of it, and it can be like a taller like table tripod itself. It also, instead of having like a push ball head, this has a rotatable ball head with an actual like you can aim straight down with it. So I think it has a little more versatility. My big negatives about this one is it does not feel nearly as good as that original one. The other one felt good. This kind of feels cheap, so can you guys hear that? Like, I don't know. I'm not totally sold on this tripod yet, but I'm taking it with me, so we'll learn under fire. Like I said, I don't want to run out of storage space and I don't want to run out of battery space, so here is my SD card little pouch. These are not all the SD cards I'm bringing. I'm bringing literally every SD card I own. It'll be about between 500 gigabytes and a terabyte worth of information because I don't want to run out of power and I don't want to run out of storage space. So we're actually currently using some of these right now. So this is SD cards because they're very important. We talked about audio. The next most important part about video work is lighting. So I will be bringing two lights with me, both of them Aputure. This is the Aputure This is the Aputure AL-M9 and the Aputure it's the MX, I think. So this is like the more budget version. This is the more expensive version. This is probably my favorite light of the year. This thing is super small. It gets a lot of light out and it fits almost anywhere and it's crazy light. This, you can see right there. This MLX, the AL-MX, is heavier. It has like the more options. You can set it to some white balance and stuff like that, but I don't really like this one as much. It's got this like, I don't know, it's got this weird diffuser on it. It's heavier. I really like this AL-M9. So it's gonna all go in this little pouch. And this little pouch is also going to have like the little, it's got the mount for the AL-M9 and a little ball head for the AL-MX. It's all gonna go in this little pouch. Because if you don't have, it doesn't matter what camera you bring, if you don't have lighting, it's gonna look terrible. Backup, I always believe in backups, as we've already seen. So my backup audio solution is going to be my favorite. It was my favorite audio recorder of the year last year, which is the Zoom H1N. This thing is fantastic. So this is going to serve dual purposes for me. It's going to be like a backup system if the AVX runs out of battery. I can plug a lavalier mic into the side here and just record my audio that way. It's really easy to sync audio and post. When you've been making videos for almost 2 years, it becomes just really easy. It's not a big problem. But what I think the main purpose of this microphone will be as an interview camera, because then I can just interview people and hand it off. It's got this little windscreen on top of it that really helps like mitigate plosives and wind, and we're gonna trial this stuff out here in a second outside so you can kind of see like what the quality will be. And I'll do a quick rundown of this so you can see just that this is phenomenal. If you can buy one of these, this again is my personal one. This is fantastic. I love this thing. If you're looking for an audio recorder, the Zoom H1N is mind-bogglingly good. Again, as far as backups go, I am bringing like a backup slash stills camera slash my main workhorse of the channel. If you've been watching the channel for any amount of time, you know how much I love my RX100 Mark V. Again, this is my RX100 Mark V. I bought this open box at Best Buy for like 500 bucks. And while like the big camera right now is recording me, and you know, we got my secondary camera up here, the Canon M50. You know, as much as I use those cameras, if you want to consider like what I use the most, if you're talking about B-roll or all my thumbnails, all of that is taken with the RX100 Mark V. Like, this is one of the best cameras ever made, and I use mine every single day. That camera gets used I've put that camera through its paces. One of its negatives, though, is it chews through batteries like candy. So I will be bringing, plenty of spare batteries for the RX100 Mark V, because it destroys them. So I'm probably gonna have to use it pretty sparingly, because it's not very good on battery life, which is the main negative of it. But besides that, I love it. I love it as a camera. But let's start talking about the main camera system that I'm going to be using. So I had a few requirements again, right? Well, here's the lenses. We'll talk about the lenses in a second. Ooh, and my little, sensor cleaner. Got to be able to clean that sensor, so I'm bringing a sensor cleaner. So I had a few requirements when it came to my video platform. I wanted 4K. So that really limits me. I also wanted a flip screen. I didn't want to bring a monitor or anything with me. So that really limited me to Canon, Panasonic, some Fuji cameras, but I wanted really great in-body image stabilization, which left me with Olympus and Panasonic. And I went with, I mean, this should be no surprise, I've been making videos about it, the Lumix G9. This thing records in 4K 60 frames per second, has some of the best stabilization on the market. The preamps are great. The touchscreen is awesome. The manual focus is great. It can do 1080p at 180 frames per second. So I plan on doing all of my B-roll, all of the talking head, everything with this camera because it's just great. Like if I can't use the big tripod, I wanted something that I could hand hold but still get really good stabilization. And at that, Micro Four Thirds also has some really small lenses. So the lenses I'm gonna be bringing, the primary lens is gonna be the Panasonic 8-18, which if you're looking at full frame equivalent, it's roughly a 16-35. But look at how small this thing is. Like, this thing gets crazy wide. It's beautiful. The image quality is beautiful. It works really well. This does not have stabilization built into it, but it works really well with the G9 stabilization. And one of the benefits of Panasonic cameras in general and the G9, it has X-Tele zoom, so it'll crop in on the sensor a little bit more, giving you an even farther reach. That turns this into a more general purpose zoom, and it gives my other lens, which is the Panasonic 25mm 1.7, in case I want to do any, if I do want to get any shallow depth of field, or I want to do maybe like a talking head interview with somebody where it's just one person talking. I'll be using this because Micro Four Thirds, it's a little harder to get that shallower depth of field, but this lens is amazing. That X-Tele zoom though turns this into more of a portrait lens, and it's just awesome. It's just awesome. Like, all of this gear I thought out. I wanted to carry as little as possible, but still have a functional video platform. But let's really quickly get into my editing tool, which will be the iPad Pro from 2018, the 11-inch iPad Pro from 2018. I use this darn thing, this actually might be my favorite computer out of 2018. The screen's disgusting, so don't judge me on the screen. But I use this thing all of the time. All of my scripts are written on this. I haven't used it for editing yet. I mean, I've dabbled a little bit and it seems easy enough. But one of the reasons I also went with the Panasonic camera is Sony cameras do not play well with the iPad Pro. So if you want to import your footage, you have to go through this huge workaround to get it to work. Whereas with the Panasonic cameras, you just plug in that SD card reader, you plug in your SD cards, it'll import. This is gonna be like my baby. Like, I love this thing. I'm so excited to start creating content for you guys on this thing because I just want it to be quick. I want to be like, wow, that's cool. Let's make a quick video and then edit it and get it up to you. So I'm just super excited. But let's put it all together. Let's hop outside real quick and see just how it all works. You know, I normally would jump out here, but with all this gear, we're not gonna jump today. So this is the rig set up on the tripod. So you can kind of see like the size and generally what I'm looking for right here. Man, I need to get one of those like wheel lock tripods instead. There you go. Look at that. That is a professional setup that doesn't take up much room, right? Look at that. We got a microphone, we got a light, we got the flippy screen, because nobody wants to mess with the monitor. I mean, look at this. Let's turn this thing on. Let's show you what you guys look like right now as we test out a new camera system. So this is what you guys look like right now. And so yes, I really enjoy having a nice shallow depth of field. I really like having the big monitor with all the pro features on it. I don't want to drag this. You see all that? I don't want to drag that around the halls with me. So we're going to do this very light setup and let's see how let's see how the image quality looks. Because one of the nice things about this super wide angle lens, it doesn't look too close right here. So let's pop, boop. There we go. So this is the image quality. Whoa, it's way overexposed. Hold on. My ND filter that I will be using on this rig is on that rig right now. So this is the video and the audio quality that I'm gonna hopefully get out of the Lumix G9. Again, it's probably a little overexposed because my ND filter is not here, but we can pop on this little light. Look at that. Now we've got like a lighting source. So when everything's super dark, you don't have to worry about too much noise in the video. You just gotta have this horrible overexposed footage. Let's pop the ISO down a little bit. Oh, the lessons we learn as we use stuff in use. But yeah, so this is the image quality, this is the audio quality. One of the nice things, back to you guys over here. One of the nice things about this setup here is, you guys know, I complain about Panasonic autofocus all the time, right? So one of the things that we can do here, since we can touch the camera, is we don't have to mess with the autofocus. You've seen this in the G9 video, by the way. You just tap on the screen, you put it to what you want to focus. Hey, it's in focus. Like, that's incredibly useful. So if you're gonna use manual focus the whole time, it's much better. It does have the ability to go a little tighter if we want it, so let's back up. But then we gotta like stretch. There we go, that should hopefully have worked. That's the big negative about the whole system. Oh, and really quickly before we go, I did wanna, like, I keep saying how much I like this Zoom H1n, but I haven't actually shown you guys how well it works. So this is the audio out of the Zoom H1n. Audio test 1, 2, 3, audio test 1, 2, 3. Now what's nice about this, obviously it's a directional mic, but you got this little screen protector on to stop the plosives. Pop, 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 pop. But it's just going to be like a nice little interview mic if I need it, or a backup system if need be. I really like these microphones because they just work and they work well. Yes, I'll have to sync it in post, but that's not that big of a deal. When you've been making videos for so long, you just get used to syncing stuff up in post. So this is the audio quality out of the Rode wireless system. This is the audio quality out of the Zoom H1n. I think it's great. Okay. But yeah, either way, I think it's a great camera. I think the audio quality is going to do well. We just have the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus on here right now, just because I don't feel like messing with 2 wireless lav systems right now. So yeah, I'm excited to go to CES. If you guys have anything you want to see out of CES, leave a comment below, and I will try my very best to get it to you. Thanks for watching.